Hi guys, today we're going to do an art project from our February art kit that you'll have received. And you can do this with your class if your class wants to do it together, or you could do it with your at home if your class does not do it together. This is going to be the project that is the harder of the two. Your art kit comes with materials that you can do one of two projects. One of the projects is a little bit easier, and it's probably best for grades TK through maybe second, or there's a project that's a little bit more difficult that would be for grades 3 through 5. It's up to you which project you want to do. You don't have to do a certain one. You can do whatever project that you want. This project is the harder one. It's for 3rd through 5th grades if you want. And it is doing art in the style of an artist by the name of Chris Uphughes. And Chris Uphughes is an artist that does art still today. And he does a lot of murals. So that murals would be like on walls, big art on walls. And he actually puts his art on just about anything. And I love his art because it's art that makes me happy. Art can be like that. Art is something that can often make you feel certain things. And his art makes me feel really happy. So I'm going to show you some examples of his art, and then we'll do our own. So this is a mural that Chris Uphughes did. He actually works with his wife. They work together and paint these murals. And this is one of them, and he does a lot of these hearts with kind of emoji faces on them. And they're always really brightly colored, and they make you feel happy. So this is one of them, and this is the one that's going to be most similar to what we do today, but he does lots of other things too. Here's another mural he did, and you can see it still has those same emoji hearts, and it has flowers and really bright colors. All of his stuff has really bright colors. Here's another one. This one has more hearts and rainbows. Looks like it's got mushrooms and ladybugs and these daisies again. Again, really bright colors, and it just makes you feel happy when you look at it. And he's actually in this picture working on it, and that's actually his dog right there. He likes to have his dog there as well. And then here is his hearts on some shoes. So those same emoji hearts on some shoes. Here's another, just a poster that he has done. Looks like it's in maybe a flower shop. And it has one of those emoji hearts and some bright colors and some rainbows. And here's another one. It doesn't have the emoji hearts like we're used to seeing, but it has pineapples instead with those same bright hearts or bright colors. So his art just is really fun and really happy. And I thought that this would be a great project for us to do because I love to do art that makes me feel happy. So we're going to do some of these. We're going to start by making some of these hearts to start out. So what you'll need to make sure that you have is you're going to need the white piece of paper that came in your kit. You're going to have this set of templates, and you're going to have these 5 pieces of bright colored paper. And that's what came in your kit. And then things that you're going to need from your classroom or from your house are a glue stick. Regular glue is fine too if you don't have a glue stick. You're going to need some scissors, and then you're going to want a black marker or black Sharpie, whichever you have. And if for some reason you don't have a black marker or black Sharpie, sometimes I know black are the first color to run out. You could use a different color as well. So I have a blue one here too, whichever color you have. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to cut out your templates. And see this big bold template right here? You're not going to use that one. That's actually the template for the younger grade project. You're going to use these 3 templates right here. So I want you to cut out those 3 hearts. And just for a little tip when you're cutting, sometimes the best way to cut well is to first cut it onto a smaller piece of paper. If you try to cut out of the big paper, it's really hard. So I like to cut it smaller and then cut my shapes out. And just do the best you can. So now that you have these hearts, you're going to trace them onto this paper. So you're going to want to cut out a bunch of hearts for this. You can decide how many hearts you want. I think maybe you probably want like 8 to 10 hearts. So what you're gonna do is, oh, I forgot to tell you, you also need a pencil, and you're gonna trace those templates that you cut out onto your paper, onto your bright colored paper. And you have 5 different colors of paper, and maybe you want, 2 out of each color. So you're gonna trace all of those. And you can use whichever size of the hearts that you want. Okay, after you trace your hearts, you're gonna cut them all out. Now, you don't have to do this, but I am gonna show you a way to kind of make it quicker. If you stack 2 pieces of paper together, you can cut them together. If you don't want to do this, that's fine, but it is a way to make it go a little bit faster, and we're actually going to use this trick a couple times in our project. So you just want to hold them real tight and cut right on that line. You got to just hold it real tight so they stay real tight together. And they might slide around a little bit, that's okay. See, and now I got 2 hearts at once, a little bit less work. Again, you don't have to do that, but sometimes it's nice to cut a little bit of it at once. Makes it go a little bit faster. Okay, so now I've got, I think I have about 10 hearts, and now I want you to arrange them on the paper. So first you're gonna kind of decide how you want them. And one thing I want you to remember is, see how this one still has some pencil on it? We just want to make sure when we glue it down that that pencil is down. That's just going to make our art look a little bit nicer. So I'm just going to arrange them however I want. And they can overlap or they can be all separate. Whatever you think you want to do. So first kind of arrange them how you think you want them. And maybe put that pencil line down so you can remember how you want it. And this way you can kind of arrange them as you go. Maybe you don't like how they're arranged and you can switch them around. Okay, so I think I like mine like this. So I'm gonna glue them down now. I'm just gonna use my glue stick and I'm gonna glue them down. And just glue one at a time. Okay, I've got all my hearts glued on. One way to make sure they're stuck is to turn over your paper and really push down and make sure those hearts are on there. Make sure you did get them all glued on. Okay, so now I've got all my hearts on. Now they need faces. See how you had this like leftover piece of white, the thick paper cardstock? We're actually gonna use this as to make their eyes. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna cut their eyes out of this paper. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of trick. When you try to cut 2 shapes that are exactly the same, it's really hard to get them exactly the same. So what I like to do is I will cut a little piece of the paper like this, and I'm gonna fold it in half, just like that, so that it's like this. And then I'm gonna cut out a circle or a crescent, whatever shape. And you don't need to draw this first. I know you guys can cut a circle or an oval pretty easily. They don't have to, and they don't have to be perfect. That's the great part, is they do not have to be perfect. So because I cut them out together, they're exactly the same shape, which is really nice. And I'm just gonna set those eyes on the heart that I think I want it to go on. And then I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna keep cutting out shapes for eyes. You can also draw some of the eyes, so maybe you want 1 or 2 of them to have drawn eyes instead of the eyes out of the white. So again, I'm gonna take the piece of paper, I'm gonna fold it in half, and I'm gonna cut the shape eye that I want. And that way I get 2 at once. So there I did some ovals. This one I'm gonna do kind of like a half circle. And see, now I get 2 that are exactly the same. And then you just want to make sure to turn them upside down because there is that writing on the back of them. And I'm gonna put them, let's see, I want these on this guy. And just arrange the eyes on whichever heart you want them to go on. So I'm just gonna keep cutting out my eyes by folding the paper in half and cutting the shape eye that I want. Okay, I've cut out my eyes, and you'll notice this one only has one eye. I think I'm gonna make this one look like he's blinking. And then maybe these two I'm just gonna draw in the eyes because they don't all have to have the white eyes. So now that you've got those white eyes, you're gonna wanna glue those on. So start gluing those eyes on, and then we'll move to the next step. Make sure you glue if there's print on the other side, like this one from the scrap paper, just make sure it's down so you just see the white. Okay, so now I've glued on all my eyes, and I want you again to do that step where you turn it over and you really push them on. That's really helpful to get everything to stick. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my eyes on, and now I can start drawing my faces. So like I said, you can do this with a black Sharpie or a black marker, whichever you have, and just start drawing the faces. So one thing you want to remember is to keep them pretty simple. You don't want to go really detailed. You want to go pretty simple and think of emojis that you like and kind of do like that. I like to trace around the outside edge of the white. I just like how it looks. It's up to you if you want to do that. Okay, so now I've drawn all the faces on my hearts, and I've got all their eyes outlined. I've added noses. You can do whatever you want. Just remember the idea behind Chris Uphew's art is it's very happy. So you want to make your hearts really happy. You're not really going for like mad emojis and sad. You're trying to make them all look really happy. So now you can decide if you're done here. You're totally fine if you want to be done here. Or on this one, I added some lines. You can do whatever you want now. So you could draw things with markers. You could cut out some more shapes, whatever you want to do. Just add those things however you want. So I think I'm going to add some daisies like Chris Uphew's often does at the bottom. So on this project, you can keep going as long as you want. You can keep adding more things into the background, or you can stop whenever you're done. And like I said, you can continue coloring things with crayons and markers, or you can do like I did on this one where I just cut pieces of paper. So you could cut shapes out as well. So whatever you would like your finished product to look like, you can decide how you want that to go.